Hi, everybody.
Hello.
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 Hi.
Hi.
How are you, everybody? Fine?
Very good, thank you.
Alhamdulillah.
Nice to see you here. So, welcome to this first hangout. Okay, brought by Melltoo and Decluttr. We have Shelina here with us. Okay. First of all, I will introduce myself. Okay, I'm Ibrahim Diam. Okay, I'm the social media manager of Melltoo. Okay. Um, I was on Facebook this couple of weeks before, asking people about decluttering. Okay, and I launched hot topics. I can say about to try to find out who is the responsible for the mess at home. Okay, and many people interact with me around this topic. Okay, uh, women are saying that their husband are the the responsible of the mess at home. Okay, some people are saying it's from children. So today we will try to find out and just have some advice or okay from Shalina. She's professional of organization, and it's like a open discussion. Okay, so it's free. We can interact all together. Okay, hello Sharina.
Hi, hello everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me here to discuss decluttering and organizing with you and talking about who is responsible. So a lot of people are saying that they think it's their husbands that are responsible, which I can say from dealing with my clients and with families, I can see sometimes that the husband is to blame for some of it. More that he likes to just put the stuff into the storeroom, hide it away, and that's fine. And the end, they don't have to deal with it. And they also think that their wife or their maid should be cleaning it up and organizing everything. And it's not their responsibility. They've got other things to do. Um, but when the wife does decide to start organizing and they start saying, why do you have this old t-shirt, or why do you have 5 different wrenches in the DIY box, the husband won't get rid of the stuff. And it seems to be a thing that, and I mean it's with women as well, but with a lot of men, that they think that they haven't used it for many weeks, months, or years, but that they'll use it in the future. It will be of use in the future, which is usually not right. So this is what we find with the men in the families. Even if they're young, they're the same. They might have 50 cars, but they'll still think that they have to keep all of them, even if they only play with about 5 of them. So I think it's from early age that they do like to hold on to things because it might be needed in the future. But there are women that are very bad as well at throwing things away and decluttering and organizing. So it's not always men, but there is a lot of problems getting men to give away their things.
Okay, Sukaina.
Yes.
Yes, you are here. You told me you live to Dubai since a long time ago, and I think you have some experience to share in this around this topic. So
Yeah.
maybe.
I didn't grow up in Dubai. I actually grew up in Al Ain, which is about a little over an hour away from Dubai. But I've basically lived in the UAE for 20 years, and it just really made me laugh, the comment that Shalina made about this is going to be useful in the future. The number of times my father would say that about something that was broken in our storage room is incredible. And, I do really believe that he used to think, Allah yarhamu, he passed away several years ago, but that he used to think that he would be able or eventually get to it. But, life kind of happens, and then the junk keeps piling up, and you're like, no, I think it's time to throw this out now. It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Let's just accept that it's not going to be fixed. But I also think that sometimes, or a lot of the time, women can be enablers to bad, storage habits. Instead of like teaching their, their spouse or their children, like, this is the way you do it, they'll be like, you know what, just let me do it.
Mm.
And it does breed that kind of dependency when it comes to, keeping the house in order, because she wants it done a particular way, and the mother just thinks that nobody else can do it that way.
There is that, but a lot of them don't have, they might want it in a way, but their maids or the rest of the family might mess up the system anyway, and it's sometimes not logical for everybody else. So I usually go in and I make sure that the systems that are used for storing everything for everyone is logical, so that everybody can understand it, including the little kids. But first of all, before you even organize and create the systems, you have to get rid of the stuff, and I think that's the big problem. And it's a big problem with all types of people. I mean, male and female, husbands, wives, single people. There's a lot that keep broken things, things that they keep on saying they're going to fix and they never fix it. So I have to convince them to throw it away. And there's things that they're going to mend at the tailors and they never do that. But a lot of that with the males, with the husbands in the house, that they give it to the wives and say, you get it fixed at the tailors, here's all the stuff. And then, of course, the wife hasn't got time because she's got to look after the kids, look after the family, look after the house, and going all the way to the tailors and the other side of town is just not possible all the time. So there's a lack of appreciation from both sides, I think, of what people do in the house and how much time it takes. And it does take time to keep organized and to declutter. So I come in and help them do it so that they can get on with living their lives, and because it can be time consuming, especially if you let it build up a lot.
Do you think that, I think it's important to get the, children really, really involved. So kind of making it like a game, or like having some kind of reward system. Do you believe that might help the process along?
Yeah, I mean, some kids, they're like I was born practically organized. So it's easy, but for others, yeah, a reward system, that you give them a few dirhams if they clean up, and you start training them early that they might take out all the toys and play with them when they come back from school and put it all on the floor, but they know that at bedtime they have to put everything back in its place and then go to bed, and that maybe they'll get a treat if they put everything properly and do everything in the correct way. And it's kind of building them to learn responsibility as well, and it helps you as well that you don't have to clear up all their mess afterwards. But I think that's a good way to start with the toys, that you say to them before you go to sleep you have to put it away, but make it a fun task, because if you make it an onerous task, that will continue for the rest of their life. They will hate having to put things away, hate having to be organized. So you have to make it kind of enjoyable for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So the game, it's a good idea to make game with children around this. I think we have also this difference in our culture, because personally I'm from Africa, Senegal, okay, from west of Africa, and we do have different way to do, okay, right, at home. First of all, we used to have big family, okay, a lot of children, and also we live, everybody live in the same villa. We have the grandmother, we have the son, we have all the family in the same villa, and it's a kind of organization that usually it's women take the responsibility to do that, to keep organized the home and all the things. And it's sometimes it's very it's easy. It's easier than here in Europe because in the mentality it's like the conception is the organization of the house of the home. It's from the mom woman. Okay, so my question maybe is in the situation when we are married with someone from a different culture, Shelina, how can we readapt readapt this this way of thinking? I don't know if I'm clear.
Well, I think the viewpoint is changing. The more that people are understanding that the need to be organized in homes and offices. But what you're talking about, that the wife or the women in the house deal with it more than the men, it's the women's responsibility. That's in a lot of cultures. You know, it's not just, and I think even in European cultures, they think that the wife, even if she works, she still has to be able to go home, keep everything, the house in a nice way. So I think it's an education. I found that, I mean, most of my clients are female, but when I go to the houses, the husbands are there, or they come when I'm, you know, soon before I'm leaving. So they see what's happened, and I explain to them and talk to them, and you know, show them the systems and show them what I've done. And a lot of the time, I have reorganized their stuff. Like today, I did a declutter session, and I organized the husband's DIY box. He hasn't seen it yet, but it looks much better than it did before. So I'm waiting for the wife to tell me what his reaction is. But most of their reactions are just shock and then happiness that everything's in a proper order, in a proper system. So I think once they've seen the value and seen the results, then they appreciate it and they understand what they need to do in the future. And I try and explain it to the men in the house, you know, even the sons who I've decluttered and organized. I've explained everything to them and what I've done, why I've done it, how they have to go moving forward, and how it helps the whole family, how it helps the household. So I make it clear that it's not just the wife's responsibility now, it'll be their responsibility. Otherwise they'll have to book me again, you know, and so it's better for them if they listen to me the first time around.
Okay, very, very interesting. I think Sharon has a question.
Yes. Okay, so I understand, Shelina, that you set up systems. Now, my question is, how do you then get people to stick to the systems? Because, you know, I organize something myself at home, and, you know, 10 minutes later, it's gone. It's disorganized again. And
There's different systems for different people. I've seen professional organizers, especially in other countries, and they have a lot of folders and files and boxes and lots of things that are labeled, and it's just complicated. So I try not to make it too complicated for the house, because you need to be able to live with it and you know, get on with your life without having to go, oh, where is this gone now? You know. So it's, I don't know how to explain it. It's just that I just create something that is it's in a logical manner. So you say, for example, in kitchens. I love doing kitchens, but you go into the kitchen and people put the fine dining next to the cooker, the spices underneath on the bottom cupboards far away from the cooker, and just things that are not logical. So when you're cooking, you won't be, you know, you won't go to the top cupboard, you know, the cupboards near the cooker and access fine dining. You don't need that when you're cooking. You need the salt, you need the spices, you need the tins of tomatoes. So I change everything around to make it logical. So, and I explain the stuff that you don't use often, you put it there. You know, the stuff that you use a lot, you put it near the cooker. And even with the cleaning stuff under the sink, there's a logical way for that. So the things you use every week or the maid uses, that should be at the front. And it's sort of just educating people, because they just throw things in to the cupboards and the drawers, or the family does. So I create I might put boxes in or make dividers, so that it makes sense for everybody. So if the wife goes away, say for a little spa break, and the husband's alone at home, and he goes into the kitchen, he won't get freaked out and be messaging her while she's relaxing, having a massage, because he'll be able to find everything easily, because it's in a logical, and I usually label everything as well so that they can find everything easily.
Shillian, I have a question for you. Do you prefer to have the family together while you're doing this, or do you prefer to have, like, during your first hour session, or do you prefer just to talk to the mother? Like, do you kind of tailor your session according to how, like, the vibe of the family?
Yeah, it depends on the vibe. I've had some families, some households, they've literally shown me the room and said, okay, you get on with it, we're going out. So, and I've just done it. I've got on with it, and then I've said to them, whatever I'm not sure about, I'll put it to the side, and then they've come back after a few hours, looked at the stuff and said yes, no, and then we've either donated it, thrown it, or put it back into the room. So it just depends. Most of the time I do expect the client, at least, the main person who's wanting the organising, to be with me and to help me, because they need to know what to do, and they have to do it as well so that they can do it in future by themselves. And it's good, and it's therapeutic as well for them to be doing it with me as well. But it just depends on the situation. I mean, you've got your life. It is difficult to have a whole day or even a few days off to just spend one-to-one with me. And it's physically and mentally draining as well. So I don't expect people to be stuck to me for the whole day. You need a break, or you need to go do your other chores. So as long as I can just get on with doing what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting, Shalina. Murad has a question.
Okay.
Yes, actually, Shalina, my question to you, since I'm one of the major the cost involved in terms of, like, not your services, but more like redesigning. I mean, does decluttering involve you maybe advising the person, let's say, to build something to hide basically. Let's say I have a toolbox and I hang against the wall, and my wife might be like, oh my God, I don't want to see this tool. So maybe I have to to hide it somewhere behind, like make a fake ceiling and a fake wall. How does it work? Yeah, I mean, I try to hide the mess basically.
Well, I tend not to use overpriced items with my clients. I usually buy the material, so boxes, storage boxes, dividers, things to put into the wardrobe, etc. With circumstances like this, the toolbox might not look great being hung on the wall, say in the living room, but it might be more suitable to be stored in another room, or there might be space, once we've moved other things around, there might be space in, say, a spare wardrobe. So there's different ways to do it, and we look and analyze, and I analyze and see, from decluttering and organizing during the day or during over the few days. I am one of those people. I mean, it freaks people out that when I go into people's houses and they say they take me to the kitchen, I will open every door. I will have all the kitchen cupboards open, and I will look at everything. I will scan the whole room and look at everything, which freaks maids out because they love closing all the cupboards while I'm still open, and I keep on opening them and saying, leave it, I'm looking at everything. But from that, I can guess, and not guess even, I can understand what needs to be done, what needs to be removed, what we can change around. So the same with, you know, say with your toolbox, I'd most probably be able to find somewhere suitable to put it, or we could get a different kind of toolbox that looks nicer and more maybe pretty. It could be that you could put all your tools in instead. Does that help?
Yeah, that really helped. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I have a question also.
All right.
About decluttering. Do you think decluttering is a daily thing or it's an event? For example, I take this decision to declutter in this weekend. This is an event for me, but maybe in the conception of decluttering, it should be something that you keep going every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you make it an event and then you start taking everything out, you become overwhelmed, and that happens to a lot of people. So you need to declutter every day or every 2 days. Whenever you see something in the house that doesn't look good, if it's broken, if you don't fit into it anymore, you know, you order trousers that you can't close anymore, and you haven't been able to wear them for a year, give it away, throw it away, you know, just have a donation pile or a box in, say at the back of your wardrobe that you fill up every few days with clothes that don't fit, that look bad now, or, you know, whatever it is, or, you know, for trinkets that somebody gave you as a gift which is ugly, put it in the donation box. And then when the box is full, you can take it with you and go give it to your charity, put it in one of the charity bins, or go to another, charities. There are so many here in the UAE. Donate all the stuff that, you know, once the box is full. So if you have that system in place from the start and keep on using it, it won't become an ordeal. You won't get overwhelmed. It will just become a thing you do, every few days. I mean, like with me, I have a space specifically just whenever I find something that I don't like anymore in the house, or it doesn't fit me, any reason for it to not be in the house anymore, I put it in that space. As soon as it's filled up, I take it away and either throw it away or recycle it or donate it away.
Well, something kind of fun that my family used to do, as I mentioned before, growing up here, it's very, very easy to accumulate junk. And one of the fun memories of my childhood actually is we would go to like an annual garage sale. They would hold them at different venues here in LA, and we'd sell a whole bunch of stuff, and then we'd go to Pizza Hut with our earnings.
Oh, wow, that's brilliant. Do they still have it?
Well, I mean, again, I'm sure there are sales going on all the time. Now we don't have as much stuff because it's just my mother and I. Before it was like my siblings and my parents and I. So there was obviously more junk. But I guess that's a fun way of making decluttering seem, I guess fun. Not to repeat the word, but it's a nice memory. So we decluttered the house, but we also, went out to, Pizza Hut together to have pizza. So that was just kind of a fun way to get rid of stuff and also enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's a great way to do it. And I mean, you can do it. It is a bit more expensive now. Like there's the Dubai flea market, which is I think 270 dirhams just for a table. But I've done it with friends. Usually I have stuff that clients might have given me and asked me to sell. And then, we've then grouped together and got a table. But we also have used Melltoo as well to sell things on, using the app. And I say to all my clients now as well that they should use Melltoo because it's much easier to use and you can download the app so easily. And it's good for them that they've been able to find people within the locality, so they don't have to travel much. So which is great. There's so many ways to sell or to donate, and some things you just have to throw it away, which is hard for a lot of people, but charities and people in general are not going to be happy about having broken things sold to them or given to them, so it's best to throw it away.
Very interesting. Shelina, now the question I have is how to organize the organization. It's a question. Because because what I'm thinking now, it's you know, we are talking about the topic of this webinar is to try to find out who is responsible to the mess at home. So now, like any organization, we need a responsible, okay, to make organize.
Yeah.
So I'm okay when we are talking and saying everybody should be involved, children, husband, okay. But now, who should be responsible of the organization of all these things to keep going?
So someone should be the team leader of the whole family or the household. It's up to the family. It's, you know, sometimes the husband is more organized or thinks he's more organized, so he's the team leader. Sometimes it could be the wife, sometimes it could be the kid. I am the, you know, I've always, like I said, I was born like this, so I have been the team leader in our house, and I have failed miserably on a number of occasions with my parents, but I still, even from here, while I'm Skyping them, I tell them what they need to do to get organized. So it just depends who has got it in their genes to be the team leader and the organizer. But I think we need to change the view and the culture that it's only, you know, one gender it should be responsible, and it's one gender's fault if it's messy in the house or or cluttered or disorganized. I think we need to spread it out that it's everyone, and it's. I mean, I've been in many apartments with couples arguing while I'm, helping them over whose fault it is that it's become like this, and I have to listen to them and say yes, and and sometimes it's both of them. So we need to stop the blame culture and just get on with just getting organized, I think.
Thank you very much, Shelina, for this webinar. I don't know if you guys have more questions about this. Anyway, tomorrow we have another webinar with Shelina. Okay. Yep. Everything you need to know to get rid of your junk. Okay. So this webinar is also open for the discussion. This one. Okay. You can comment. Okay. And it's not something figé, like I can say in French. So the discussion continue. We will share it on social network, okay, Facebook and Twitter, and try to find to see what people are saying about around this topic. So thank you very much, Elina.
Thank you. Thank you for all of your questions.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering.
All right, we'll do another webinar tomorrow.
Inshallah.
Tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Inshallah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. Take care.
Take care.